Good evening, everyone. It's Spook, and we're live with Persona 5 Royal. This is going to be kind of just we're pretty much just going to grind to mementos, because we finished Kanashiro's palace, and we don't even have the next target yet. He hasn't had his change of heart and confessed, mostly because I didn't want to sit and wait through that part of the game last week. So I'm going to skip the intro today. And settle in, I'm shooting for the usual 3 to 4 hours or so. Alright, there we go. I don't even remember where I saved. Oh, I was still sitting at LeBlanc, so I must be in the attic. Alrighty. Man, today's been a frickin' day. I had,
Okay.
Oh, I can't make anything. Let's just go to bed. So I had to do laundry, of course. It was Saturday. And that
Kanashiro truly was an evil stain on society. Same with Kamoshida and Madarame too. They hurt and exploited others just to satisfy their desires. Still, there were people around them who noticed their terrible deeds, weren't there? I wonder why they turned a blind eye. Why doesn't anyone help? So it's because they don't have the courage. Humans are so weak. Humans. Hey, do you think I'll really be able to become a human when I touch the treasure? Some memories came back. I tried to force myself to forget, but I really may not be human. Who do you think you're talking to?
It's funny, I think the original version of this game came out in 2016.
I am the core of the
and I bought my
Thieves,
PS4 in like 2017. And it's one of the first games I bought for it. Oh, cool. Wait, just every time I do a melee attack? Alright. Well, I'm down with that. But I've managed to avoid spoilers, thankfully. I mean, I never completed Persona 3, but I'm aware of the Dorcoon ending. But, like, I'm vaguely aware that there's a traitor in my midst, and I have no clue who it is. But I don't know where this is going. And after the next palace, I have no idea who we're up against. So I'm kind of excited.
To speak with you. Heed his words.
You've defeated the repulsive fiend of gluttony this time.
Okay,
Well
he's
done.
acknowledging...
I am glad to see you have devoted yourself to your rehabilitation.
You are not worthy of such kind words, inmate. I suggest you treasure them.
Where do you get your assistance,
Do you recall
Igor?
the whispers about that strange man?
Even a chicken could remember something that important. Don't sound so cocky about
Jesus Christ, Caroline.
This is about the cases of those people who shut down, is it not?
Indeed. I speak of another with powers similar to yours. If you are to complete your rehabilitation, you may encounter him eventually. Yet another thing for me to look forward to. It would be greatly troubling if you were to not strengthen your abilities. I shall grant you an ability befitting of your newfound growth. Consider it a gift.
I think... Yeah, Igor is deaf, isn't he? Yeah, Lamont. Oh, no, the fool. Never mind. Okay, that's cool.
Right.
It's time, inmate.
Return to...
One of those mysteries that I've kind of had about this game is, or this series of games, is where does Igor find his assistants? You know, where did they come from and what are they there for?
Hello? It's me, Makoto. Were you sleeping?
I was. I actually had an
Thank
entire
goodness.
phone conversation,
There's
or not
something
phone
I feel I should
conversation,
let
but
you know.
text conversation with
Kanashiro
somebody while I was
contacted
still
me.
basically asleep.
Kaneshiro?
He said he's calling off our debt. It seems he's disposed of all the photographs as well. And, my sister and her team have taken him into custody.
Dang.
What?
It appears they did not want him to disappear, if you know what I mean.
His group was called a mafia after all. I wouldn't put silencing him past them.
Does this mean we were successful in changing his heart?
It's
Yeah?
hard to say for sure yet.
I see. What about those psychotic breakdowns that Kaneshiro mentioned?
I'm not sure. But I assume he was talking about the incidents that have been all over the news lately. It really may be related to the other person who has been entering palaces.
True. That said, all we can do now is wait until Kaneshiro's change of heart becomes clear to us. Thank you.
Okay, so the palaces that have been taken out so far have had those will crystals in them, and the Kamoshida one was lust. I forget what Madarami's was, and then Kaneshiro was gluttony, and I'm wondering if that's going to be the thing, conquering the big seven. Oh, this character.
Hey, hey! Hey, wait!
Good morning.
So I believe we had a class question in the last game that demonstrated that I don't know a damn thing about shogi. Have they made a ridiculous anime series about shogi yet? Okay. Let's find out what's happening here. For some reason, I'm just fascinated by her storyline, because,
Hello?
and I like her design. What can I say? I've never seen a self-aware quack before. That just never happens.
That's fine, I guess.
Okay, I am completely failing these interactions. I'm not getting the little, the notes pop up.
Hey.
Oh, that's right, she was deaf. I feel silly now.
All right.
It's interesting, that syndrome she's talking about, I don't know if it's real, but I know that one of the plagues you could catch in the Great Plague era was one that kind of turned your insides into jelly. It was an absolute mess, to say the least. It's, I mean, you don't want to catch any form of plague, but that one seems particularly awful. Excuse me. Oh, you know, I've probably got a bunch of stuff from my last run into the palace.
Ah, you're back.
Oh, jeez.
Nice.
Okay, let's take a moment and hit up Shibuya and sell some of the junk I probably picked up last time I was in the metaverse.
Okay.
Oh, I guess there
You
wasn't
should
much.
be grateful. All right. All right. Which one?
Okay, and okay, his stuff
Come again.
hasn't updated, so that's fine. Wait a minute. Why is there a card icon here? Oh, you know what? It's probably because I'm guessing he's a social link, but I can't bring him up because he I haven't done the thing to yeah, my guts aren't high enough to ask him about the bag or the model guns or whatever.
Wow.
Actually, instead of that, let's
Welcome.
oh, interesting. Ooh. Boosting those has potential. I'll wait till I have someone with the moon, with the moon arcana. Yeah, let's do the gym thing. I mean, anything that boosts my HP and SP in one go. Why not?
Okay. Well then. Yeah. Oh.
All right.
3 HP.
All right.
2 SP.
Nice.
All right. All right.
Excellent.
Wanna head back?
The grind continues.
Good morning. Konoshiro's deadline is drawing near. We did all we could. I hope we can avoid problems now.
As expected from someone who's been through this 3 times already. If you say so, then. Yes, I'm sure it'll go well.
Yep.
Tanabata?
Do you know the answer?
Uh-oh. Tanabata's myth. I am lost here.
Counting
gods cross in starry sky to reunite once with every year. Fuck, I don't know. I'm gonna say it's somen noodles.
Yes!
This is it.
That's correct.
Well, that's a lovely Tenettenbach. Demon guts? That's kind of metal. Oh, man.
Thanks! Nice going!
Honestly, it's just a well-informed guess. Yeah, why not? Yeah, there's not a whole lot to do between
Senpai?
palaces other than level up your S-links.
Yes! So, anyway... This looks good! So...
Oh, jeez.
I'm so sorry!
Oh, jeez, I fucked it up. Oh, well. This is one of those things.
Thank you for the meal.
With social interactions between characters in video games, you always have these few branches you can take, and a lot of the time it's just but thou must choices.
Thank you so much.
It's like I don't know if I would say any of these. It's like, look, I'm not going to insult anyone's cooking unless it's actually bad. But,
All right.
I mean, because most people are more talented than I am in that department. Right now I'm in a rut of literally 3 different meals, and one of them is just pouring a bowl of cereal, so...
All right.
Maybe some other time.
So it's like, I just have no room to criticize. I mean, part of my problem is just my, I'm too lazy to sit down and work out
back.
low-sodium meals, so I usually just...
Got time right now?
Hold on. He's the Hierophant. Okay.
Next time, then.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna hit the bathhouse.
Oh!
Blended with placenta? Oh, you can only buy 2. This seems like a bad joke. You know what?
Oh!
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead and buy a couple of them. Just in case. Because you never know, sometimes 5 SP is all you need.
What do you want to do?
There were a couple times in my first apartment where there was work being done in town or other maintenance that prevented me from using any water in the apartment. It's like, oh yeah, they've shut down this main to do such and such.
Oh.
And, oh my god, I got my charm up to 3.
Alright.
Want to head back?
Anyway. That's like, there were times I'm just like, you know, I really wish there was somewhere I could go pay $5 and take a shower or something.
Hey!
Or like here when we had that storm. Okay, I'm curious about this one.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Yeah, mise en scène, I never understood that.
Oh!
Alright.
Really? So that levels up my ability to watch movies. Okay, game. I mean, I get that that'll increase the benefit of watching those. That's fine. But that is such a weird... It's so weirdly specific. I don't know if I love it because of that or hate it. So let's see. No text messages. So what's her name's in the student council room? Where's Oh, who's that by the bathroom? Oh, it's what's his face?
Hey there. What a scorcher, right? I see.
Okay. Oh, the library. Okay, that's good for knowledge.
Excuse me?
Well, I mean, this guy has what I assume is an assault charge against him, so... It's funny because,
Man.
I worked with somebody who absolutely is not the first person you would think of
Yeah.
when you would think assault charge. Jeez. It was one of those situations that's really contrived and unbelievable when you hear about it. But whenever she came in to visit from patrol, I always called her killer.
Do you have a minute? Thank you very much.
I'd like to talk to you about something. Do you have a moment? Up until now, I've been the quintessential honor student. I believe I've been handling my position as student council president with ease as well. And I don't mean that in a boasting way, that's simply how I've thought about it. But in the end, I was unable to make any kind of impact with either Suzui-san or Kaneshiro. Turns out there's no use for a rule-abiding honor student when things get rough. Now that I'm a member of this team, I want to do everything I can to help you all. All my studying up to this point has kept me quite narrow-minded. I think I will need to broaden my horizons somewhat. My first step will be to learn more about the other students.
So stalking.
I struggle with that.
Hold on.
There seems to be a disparity between my tastes and those of my peers. Really? I hope you're right. But I don't even know where people like to go for fun. It would be nice to have a grasp of such concepts. Plus, the student council must be responsible for understanding the student body they serve, right? I don't mean that in a surveillance way, I just want to know them as people. I may be a phantom thief, but that's no excuse for me to start ignoring my presidential duties. Now, back to the topic at hand. Where do people usually go for fun? I enjoy the movies myself sometimes. I think I'd prefer... Oh, I know. Do you think you... I'm not sure if it'll broaden my... Thank goodness. I think I would have been totally lost in there had I gone by myself.
I mean, by any definition... I mean, it was where machines were just made to swallow your quarters. The games weren't even that good some of the time, but there were some classics in there.
This
but
is
man,
where everyone comes to enjoy them, so there are more girls here than I expected.
it is kind of sad that they're just not a thing in the U.S. anymore.
You play by aiming the gun at the screen, right? That actually seems somewhat realistic. If it's okay with you, do you think you could teach me? I did it! No, wait!
Yeah, Area 51's a tough game.
Of course, that was just a game. I wonder if I could apply some of the techniques I learned here during battle. Perhaps going somewhere I don't normally... You know, it may only... I think I'm starting... Interesting. Hey...
Late-game games always
could help me out again later? I might be able to give the team more ideas if I can gain increased knowledge outside of my studies. I need to live up to your expectations.
Okay.
Perhaps it won't.
Is this where... Oh, here we are. We've got a new link. God, this one's gonna piss her right off, too, because that's her sister.
There must have been people who obstructed your actions as the Phantom Thieves. You managed to overcome them because you had someone who specialized in analyzing enemies. Isn't that right?
I am thou. Thou art I. Thou
I still find that really interesting as a framing device. Going back and forth like that. It reminds me of the Michael Crichton adaptation,
With the birth of the priestess persona,
Rising Sun.
I have obtained the winds of blessing that shall
You see a
lead to
scene
freedom and
that
new
starts
power.
at the very end, and like one of the characters is wearing a particular shirt, and oh, she's the priestess. Okay. Skills and potential items. Oh, good. That's super handy. Anyway.
All right.
I forgot what I was even saying.
By the way, you went to the red light district when you were chasing after Kaneshiro, right? I'd like to go there as well. No, not for my own purposes. To tell you the truth, I recently got a report that one of our students was spotted there. I'm skeptical, but I'd like to confirm firsthand for myself. Well, it's getting late. Let's go home. Thank you. Yes. All right then.
Ah, you're back.
Oh, let's see what the devil's up to. I gotta say the whole instant messenger thing they added to this game is super handy. It's like, yeah, I don't remember exactly what part of the world this is in, but it's like, you just teleport there.
Then take a seat. Well then.
So I'm kind of interested to see how the game's poll numbers adjust after the end of Kaneshiro's arc. The words. I don't know what words are. My apologies.